is poppin', everyone? You all read the tag video, so let's go into it. So, this is what I have so far. I'm sorry, it's so dark. Like in the room, but the actual drawing is supposed to be darker too. Because I've been feeling really depressed. Not gonna lie, I've been feeling very depressed. That's why I have my summery sun inspired stones. We have red jasper, sunstone, and then I low-key forgot which one this was. I think it's I forgot. But God, what is it? Sunstone. Actually, this one might be sunstone, and then this one might be like yellow something. Oh no, this one is calcite, I believe. So red jasper, sunstone, calcite. So all just supposed to be good for feeling alive, feeling passionate, stuff like that. Because part of my depression is because I used to be such a creative person. Like, this is my sketchbook, right? All of these are front to back, and I've done all of these in the past couple years or something, but I barely did any last year. And when I did them, I wasn't super passionate about them. So, yeah. Like the one that I just showed. Where is it? Oh, I don't remember the year of these. This, I'm pretty sure it was like 2023. So I haven't done like a ton recently. Yeah, I had a huge creative block, unfortunately. The ones that have paint on them are like stuck together, but yeah. So I have been trying to be. Does that make sense? I have been trying to be more creative. So I love to write. Period. I also love to sing. So because I love to sing, I love to write. I love to write music, songs. I shouldn't say music. I don't know how to compose, but I love to write songs, and I started a project in 2022 or 2023. I don't remember. And it was originally a trilogy, 3 albums. But I found that the first 2 went together nice, but the third one kind of needed to be separate. So I rearranged some of that. So I decided to do, because I was gonna do another trilogy, but after some consideration, I decided to just do them in pairs. So the first set of 2 is completely done. Writing wise, I've even recorded a lot of it just a cappella. It's completely done. It is a darker set, but it's completely done. The next one, so I guess to talk about it, is the first album the Screamo album. The next album is like an emo album. So we have Screamo and emo. So emo is like the depressed version of sadness. So we have the angry version of sadness, like that protective side, yada yada, and then we have like the sad, heartbroken. And that album is called Pastel Goth. Yeah. So again, those two are completely done. So that one sounds a lot more mellow. It's a lot more softer. It's a lot more like you can hear the mellowness, if that makes sense. So the next pair I was working on the past couple days. So the first album, and these names for this set are all a work in progress, but the first album is called College Dropout. And let me read you the titles of songs. Now I haven't wrote it. I haven't actually wrote any of the songs, but I've written similar songs in the past that just weren't finalized. So it's like, because I like to write songs, so it's like I love poetry. So like like last year I literally wrote like a poem every day for like 2 months straight. So you know what I mean? Like I can just produce a lot when I don't have a creative block. So, and that typically is when I'm not connected with my emotions. It's usually when I'm overwhelmed by my emotions too much, or whatever the case may be. So the first track, and this is not in order, but it's Pretty in Pink. I wanted it to be Seven Rings inspired because my freshman year of college, Seven Rings came out in the spring, and so I still play that song sometimes. It's still on my playlist. My most recent like playlist that I go to drive every day, like it's on that playlist. So like I still listen to that song quite a bit. So it's called Pretty in Pink. The next song is called By Christianity. The third song is called Odd Jobs, and I want to get my friend Jack on it because he does music, and I think he would just be it'd be really cool to do a song with him. He doesn't like to write music, but he has a great voice, so I think that'd be a really fun concept. So that might be one of the first songs I do. I don't know. The fourth one, just because I want to work with him. So the fourth one, when I say do, I don't mean write, but like actually finalize. But the fourth one is called Online University. So my second semester of my sophomore year is when COVID lockdown happened. And after that, I never went back to in-person college. I prefer 10 out of 10 online university. So yeah, online university. The fifth song is called Suicide Girls, which I wanted the song to be like the way it sounds, the vibe to be Suicide Boys inspired, but I've never actually really listened to the Suicide Squad. Oh my god, not me accidentally calling them the Suicide Squad. I've never really listened to the Suicide Boys. Like I've heard like their most popular songs, you know what I mean? But it's probably like one or two songs I know from them that I'm aware of that I know about them. So yeah, I wanted it to be called Suicide Girls because I have a history with being suicidal. So I wanted the vibe to be like a Suicide Boys song, but the content is going to be how it sounds. So just really emo and just dark. So, but I didn't want the song to be depressing too much, which is why I was like Suicide Boys inspo. So the sixth song is going to be called Substances. Yeah, what can I say? I really turned to substances when I was 18, and I'm still struggling with my sobriety. Today I actually hit 3 weeks completely is the second time I've done 3 weeks completely sober in 2025. So the first time was the first 3 weeks of January, minus January 1st. Well, like, okay, like New Year's, I drank, but like after I went to sleep and stuff like that, I did not drink the rest on New Year's Day. So if that makes sense. So yeah, it was kind of like I had a month break in between there. So I'm really trying to like, yeah. I still have severe cravings every single day, and that is probably the number one reason why I'm so depressed. 7 is Boy Problems, and I wanted this to be a twerk song, you know, a song you can shake your ass to. But I've had like 7 relationships or something like that with boys, and I've dated a lot more than that, hooked up with more than that, you know, like, what can I say? I have boy problems. So I thought that would be like to make it a twerk song, I thought that'd be like a fun song to twerk to, you know. The content. 8 is sexuality. 9, manifestors. 10, freshman year. Now this is, I don't have the title complete, so I either want to name it freshman year or Christian University, because my freshman year I went to a Christian university in person. So I don't know, I'm thinking of leaning towards the Christian University part more the freshman year. So yeah. 11 is parents' house, because from 19 until 24 I was in my parents' house. I was only at my parents' house a couple months when I was 24, and I was only a couple months out of my parents' house when I was 19. So 12 is friendships, and yeah, I've had a lot of friendships come and go since I got out of high school, and even before then, but like especially since like I've had a lot of different jobs, I've, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So 13 is the last song, which is I'll Graduate Eventually. So yeah. And then, so that's like part 1, if you will, of the set. The second album of the set is going to be called Beginner Adult, and the tracks or the song titles of that album is, and again, this is a work in progress, but I kind of do like all of these titles. So anyways, the first one, again, this is not in order, but Living Situations 2, romance versus sex, but I also might do romance versus fucking. So I don't know which one I should do. I kind of want to do romance versus sex more than romance versus fucking, but I don't know. Anyways, 3 is Work Never Ends. 4 is Sobriety. So some of these are like similar concepts to the College Dropout album, but in the Beginner Adult album, it's different. So like track 6 of College Dropout was called Substances. Track 4, Beginner Adult, is Sobriety. You know, track 5, Friends, which is like a positive view of friends. So 12 of the College Dropout was Friendships End. 5 of Beginner Adult is how friends help you out and stuff like that. And like the chosen family and stuff like that. So yeah. 6 is When's Free Time, because I ask myself that all the time. 7 is Trust Issues. of the album, because the reason for that is because the first one has 13, the second one has 12. Together that makes 25, and the 12th song, A Beginner Adult, is 25 now. That's a work in progress title. I don't know if I want to do finally 25 or like, I don't know, but it's gonna be something about being 25 because I turned 25 at the end of this month, at the end of March. So yeah, I wanted to make sure there was at least one extra. Like, I was like, I could do the number 13 on either album. I chose College Dropout because that is from 18 to 24, you know, and then Beginner Adult was a lot of, it's like more recently I was able to elevate into this beginner adult category, and I don't mean like beginner adult as in I just turned 21, I just turned 18. No, I mean beginner adult as in I'm completely financially independent from my parents, and yeah, bro. I mean, there's been a lot. Like, you pay for so much shit. Like I said, like fucking utilities. You know, you got water, electricity, you have fucking Wi-Fi, groceries, my car bill, my car insurance, all the furniture. Going out to eat and shit like that, you know what I mean? Because sometimes when I was at my parents' house, sometimes they would have food. It wasn't always the case, but sometimes they bring home food, you know what I mean? But like, that's not a thing now. So yeah, it's a lot different. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. The next thing I want to share with y'all is so I started a book in 2022, but unfortunately I got severely depressed and actually attempted suicide. Luckily I don't have that many followers, so I hopefully will not get demonetized for saying that, because that is so fucked up if I did. But anyways, unfortunately that project halted because of that, and then because I did attempt, I went goddamn so far deep into substance abuse after I unsuccessfully attempted. So that kind of really hindered that project. But sometime earlier this year of 2025, I did some brainstorming for it, and then now I finally wrote it down, the plot, the full fucking plot. So I'm going to read it to y'all. It's quite lengthy. So this is a book I wrote like 10,000 words for, or some shit like crazy like that. Now obviously a book has like a shit ton more words, but like that's at least like what, 2-3 chapters or something. I don't know, I don't remember. But that's a nice chunk of the book. So yeah. Anyways, the book title is Ariella the Half Enchantress. Everything about this plot that I'm about to read is a work in progress to be edited, but yes, I bullet pointed. So first bullet point, she goes into the human realm to connect with her human side more because she's half enchantress, half human. She has two moms. One mom is a human, one mom is an enchantress. So anyways, yeah, I didn't write that down because that's a plot I have fucking memorized. I didn't need to write that, but yeah. Anyways, second bullet point. She angels and demons are God's servants. Now, I have a very problematic view on Christianity and angels and hell and the devil and all of that, but yeah, I'm not gonna get into that in this video because I want to focus on this. That's a whole ass different video. But yeah. Anyways, the next bullet point is she learns more about the curses God put up for and in the human realm. Curse A, you can only encounter / confront God in the human realm. Curse B, other beings, powers, again like the enchantress, like other beings, powers are severely to completely shut down in the human realm. Curse C, any other being that tries to change the human realm gets an army of 1,000 angels and 6,000 demons to attack that being / those beings trying to change things. And the reason why there's more demons is because God views the demons as more disposable than the angels. So anyways, and then a bullet point to the bullet point of that section is, this is why God remains as dictator in the human realm and no other beings have been able to stop him successfully. The next bullet point goes on a long quest to see if she can get any clues on how to break or overcome these curses. Next bullet point goes through a period of discouragement. Her quest is not giving her enough clues, let alone answers. This makes sense since for thousands of years, God has been dictator of the solar system, now known as the human realm. Next bullet point. She goes back to the enchantress realm to think of a plan and to brainstorm with other beings with all of their full capacity powers on how to end God's dictatorship of the human realm. Together, they come up with many ideas. Ariella starts campaigning to the other beings why together we should all try to take God down. Next bullet point. After months of campaigning and brainstorming together, thousands of beings agreed to go into battle to take down God by breaking Curse B, which was the limiting to completely shutting down powers of other beings. Next bullet point. Together they go into the human realm by the thousands and immediately, collectively break and hinder Curse B. And then the last point is the big battle happens and the other beings win. So not the demons and angels who are protecting God by his command, since they are his servants. Restoring the human realm to what it was before God's dictatorship, because the other beings vowed to always protect it. So the other beings used their power to bring the human realm back to what it was before God had dictatorship of it. I have to cough. So, because my plot line was already very problematic, I might as well tell you my beliefs. Because I'm going to be explaining it when I write this book, because I kind of have to explain some things. So, in my personal opinion, not based off of facts. If you don't believe it, I don't judge. So, yada yada. But these are my beliefs. I also don't try to infringe my beliefs on anyone because I know it's a touchy subject. But yeah, for the first 19 years of my life, I was a very devoted Christian. But I left Christianity for a lot of reasons. But the number one reason is because I was convinced that God had two sides. His good side was God Almighty, the Lord, if you will, and his bad side was the devil, Satan. And that's why he let loose that's why Lucifer is the only angel to overturn God. Lucifer is God's scapegoat. Lucifer is still an angel. But because Lucifer is a servant, that's why he has to obey everything God says. And God unfortunately wanted Lucifer to be the scapegoat of his bad side, to blame him instead of God, who's actually the devil. So because of that, God's bad side has his servants and God's good side has his servants, but ultimately they both listen to God. They're both God's servants, the angels and the demons. So do with that information what you will. Again, I am not saying that you need to believe that, or if you believe in the traditional Christianity or Catholicism or Islam, like whatever religion with God in a positive view and like the devil as like a separate thing. Like I'm not saying that you're wrong or that yada yada, like to each their own. Like I don't give a fuck what you believe and you shouldn't give a fuck about what I believe. Like I'm really so that's the book premises. Again, I wrote like 10 to 15,000 words for this book. And that was really just like she goes into the human realm to connect with her human side more, and she experiences how terrible it is and wants to change it herself, which are just the first two chapters. So it is going to be like a lengthier book. Like I wanted it to be like young adult. That's why I wanted it to be. That's why with that audience, I'm able to write about such topic. And it's not to be offensive. Like my favorite show of all time is Supernatural, and they do different concepts of Christianity, if you will. But it's not to mock it. It's just to kind of like, I don't know, food for thought. It's just interesting, So yeah. I've also been doing a lot more singing and dancing recently. So for like my workout in the morning, I will sometimes do ballet instead of like your traditional workouts. I still like the traditional workouts, but other times I'm like, I want to feel my emotions, and sometimes I do that through singing or through ballet. So yeah, I've also been trying to do more colorful makeup recently, and I obviously dyed my hair, so I also I bought a good amount of decorations for my apartment to hopefully provide even more inspiration to my creativity. So yeah, I have like 4 canvas art going up in the living room right here. I have like a really cute tablecloth with like placemats on the dining table here. I have a canvas beach painting for the bathroom because my bathroom is like mermaid beach theme. It's on the mermaid side, but yeah. And then for my bedroom, I have plus, plus, plus,